Hi guys, welcome back to Style by Tura channel. So today I'm going to show you how to cut a square front neckline and a back rectangular neckline pencil gown. The gown is going to be a three-quarter gown and is also going to have a puff sleeve. Okay, so these are the fabric I'll be working with. I have here this fabric is 3 years. I also have my cotton lining and I have this soft net. So if you are wondering what will I be using this net for, I will advise that you watch the video till the end so you will know what I'm using it for. So for this gown, I'll be working with this armhole princess that pattern. If you want to learn how to draft one, I will leave a link at the description box. So for the back upper part of the gown, I will also be working with this basic back pattern. Okay, so I've gone ahead to transfer this pattern, trace this pattern to another paper because I don't want to tamper with this very pattern set. Okay, so I'll be working with this one. So what I'm going to do now is to alter the neck. So for the front neckline, remember I said that the front is going to have a square neckline. So for the front neckline, I'll be working with 4.5 by 5.5. Now this is my pattern paper. The neckline here is 2.5 by 2.5 neckline. That's what I have on this pattern. So I want to alter the neck. So I'll be working with 4.5 by 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, so I'll go ahead and place my tape on this neckline here because it's 2.5. Okay, then I will extend to 4.5. This is 4.5 here. I'm going to do the same thing. Place my 2.5 measurement on the neckline this way and extend to 5.5 and I will mark. So this is 5.5. So I'm going to be forming a square now. So I'm done with front. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm done with front. So what I'm going to do next is to cut out this part that will no longer need. So this is it. So our front pattern is ready. We'll go over to the back. See? So I'm going to add a seam allowance here to join these pieces together when cutting out the fabric. Okay, so going over to the back is going to have a triangular neckline. For me to do that, this is how I'm going to do it. This okay. The neckline here is 2.5 by 0.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to alter the neck. So what I'm going to do is to place my tape on that neckline where I have 2.5. Remember, I'm working with 4.5 this way, and that way, okay, 4.5 this way. So I'm going to mark 4.5, and this is my 4.5. Okay, now know, for me to draw the triangular neckline, I have to, determine how wide I want my rectangular neckline to be. That's the base. I want mine to be as wide as 7 inches. So what I'm going to do is to divide that 7 inches by 2. It will give me 3.5. I don't want it to exceed 7 inches. So what I'm going to do now, when I divide 7 inches by 2, it will give me 3.5. So I'll be working with 3 inches. Why? Because if I mark 3 inches, by the time I turn the neckline with lining, I will have 3.5. I hope you are not confused. So this is how I'm going to do it. So from this part here, the top part, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So this is 1 inch. I will connect to this 4.5 I have here. I'm going to use my free hand to do this. Okay, so this is it. Please, I can't find my French curve, so please manage what I'm doing. Okay, so this is a neckline I'll be working with. Remember, it's 4.5 inches by 1 inch. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to see. I have here is zipper allowance. I hope you know. So what I'm going to do is to mark 0.5 on that 1 inch zipper allowance. So I'm going to mark 0.5 here. That's I'm dividing the zipper allowance into 2 here, just here. Okay, so this is 0.5. So what I'm going to do now is to place my tape on this my chest line. This is the chest line. Please, here I've already added my seam allowance to join to the sleeve. That's why you're seeing this. So here is the chest line. Okay, so from that chest line I'll go up by 0.5. 0.5. Remember that the wideness of my triangle is going to be 7, but I will be working with 6 divided by 2 will give me 3 inches. So by the time I turn to be the lining, I will have that 7 inches. So here I will be marking 3 inches. So this is the 3 inches here. And okay, so the next thing is to connect to this 0.5 inch here. So this is it. Hope you are not confused. So I'm going to cut out now so you understand what I am doing. Okay. Okay. So our zipper will start from here. You see, this is where our zipper will start from. So this part, this 0.5, I will fold in and maybe use a pressing button. No, no pressing button, hook and eye, or even a button. Okay, to hold the neck. So here is going to be this part is where our zipper will start from. Okay, and here is the triangular neckline. Okay, so I'm going to now I will go and transfer this to my fabric, and that is that. So the next thing I'm going to do is to start cutting out the lower part of the gown. So I'll be cutting that directly on the fabric. So watch what I'm doing. Please watch till the end. Very important, because there are things I'll be doing that you need to do. Okay. Okay, I've already folded my fabric into 2, and for the lower part of the gown, the length is going to be 33 inches, and I've already marked out the 33 inches. So from here to here is 33 inches. The next thing I'm going to do is to take the waist measurement. The waist I'm working with is 34 inches divided by 4 will give me 8.5, plus 1.5 seam allowance will give me 10 inches. Okay, so I won't be adding any data allowance at the front, so I'll be adding data allowance at the back. So what I have here is 10 inches, and this is it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to mark the hip depth. Now the hip depth I'm working with is 9 inches, and that 9 inches includes 0.5 seam allowance for joining the lower part to the upper part. So this is the 9 inches here. So the round is 44 inches. 44 divided by 4 will give me 11 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance will give me 12.5. Now I'm going to mark 12 inches instead of 12.5. That 0.5, I will take it to the back. So while drafting the back, I will explain why. Okay, so for the knee height is 18 inches, and this is my 18 inches here. For the round knee, what I'm going to do is to minus 2 inches from the hip, and whatever I have, I will mark it as my round knee. So when I minus 2 inches from my original hip allowance, which is 12.5, before minusing that 0.5, I will be having a 10.5. So I'm going to mark 10.5 as my round knee. So this is the 10.5 here. So I'll also mark the same 10.5 at the hemline. Okay, so this is it. Okay, before I go further, I want to explain something. There are some people they will minus 2 inches from their hip, and they will mark that at the hemline, and they will connect the hip straight to the hemline. Now, if you do that, you will notice some gaping around the knee, which doesn't look nice. But when you minus 2 inches from your hip, you mark it, whatever you have, you mark it as your knee, round knee, and also mark it as your round hemline. You will notice that you will have a perfect pencil skirt or a pencil gown. Okay, so note that. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect the points. The chalk is not that, it's faint kind of, but please bear with me. Just follow the instruction, you understand. So I'm joining the waist to the hip, hip to the knee. Okay. Using my hip curve. Then from the knee, I will connect straight to the hemline using a straight line, a straight ruler. And this is it. So I'm done with the front. I'm going to cut the front now. I will use this main fabric to cut the lining. Now my lining is going to be 2 inches shorter than the main fabric. Okay, so I'll cut now. Okay. So I'm cutting the back. I'm going to place the front and use the front to cut the back. Remember that I said that the back will be having a dart allowance, and there's no dart allowance at the front. So I'm using the front to cut the back. Remember that I said that the back is going to have a dart allowance. So what I'm going to do from the side, I'll add 1 inch for the dart. This is it. So I'll connect it back to the hip. This way. Okay. So coming to the center back, I mark the knee depth, the hip depth, which is 9 inches. then the knee height, which is 18 inches. So what I'm going to do is to add a zipper allowance, which is 1 inch. So I'll do that down to the length of the gown. So this is 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay, so this is my zipper allowance down to the length of the gown. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my tape at the hip line. Remember, I removed 0.5 while cutting the front, so I'm going to be replacing that at the back. So on that zipper allowance, I'll mark 1 inch. Why am I marking 1 inch? I remove 0.5 from the front, and that 0.5 is affecting the both sides. Remember, the wire cutting is on fold. Okay, so this is 0.5 here, and 0.5 will give me 1 inch. So this is 1 inch here. So the next thing I'm going to do is from this waistline, I will connect to that 1 inch extension, and I will connect back to the knee height. Okay, so what I'm trying to achieve here is just to create a space for the butt. Remember that our buttocks is not flat, so we have to create space while cutting our skirt or gown. Okay, so that is that. We are not supposed to have a straight and flat back, as in while cutting the back. Okay, so I'm going to use my French curve, sorry, the hip curve to connect this. If the person you're making the garment for is not that curvy, please use a straight ruler. Okay, so that is that. So I will be using a curve, my friend, a hip curve to do that. So this is it. I'll connect back to the knee this way. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm doing. So the next thing is to mark where my opening is going to start. The back is going to have a slit. So my opening is going to start at 20 inches. So I'll mark 20 inches. So what I'm going to do is just to notch that part. So I'll know where the opening is going to start. So that is that. I'm done drafting the back. So I will cut now and use this to cut the lining. Please remember the lining is going to be 2 inches shorter than the main fabric. So here is that allowance. Okay, so this is our back. See, and this is our front. So the next thing I'll be doing is to cut my sleeve. So please watch what I'm going to be doing. Okay, for my puff sleeve, I've gone ahead to uh, cut out this fabric is 15 inches on fold. That is the width, and the length is also 15 inches. Okay, so I'll be using this to cut the puff sleeve. I also cut the same length. I cut out the same length for the net. So I'll go ahead and cut the puff sleeve. Now again, you can also cut your puff sleeve using the bias method or even the flame method. But I'm going to be working with this. So the next thing I'm going to do is measure my bicep height, which is 5 inches. So this is a 5 inches here. Next, from here, I'll just connect to the top part of the fabric. Okay, there's no measurement for this. Just get your bicep height, that is it, and the length of the fabric you choose to work, and also the width. There's no measurement for that. That is for the puff sleeve. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just to connect this way. Maybe let me turn to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the bicep height, this is the bicep height, 5 inches. So from the midpoint here, I'll connect this way to form an armhole curve. So this is it. So by the time I pleat or gather it, it will form the shape of my armhole. Okay, and I also gather the spats. So I've gone ahead to cut out the band I'll be using for this lower part. The band is my round elbow measurement, and the width is 4 inches. So I'll be folding into two this way, then use it to, after gathering, I'll use it to cover the gathers. Okay, that is that. So I'm also going to use this to cut the second puff sleeve, okay, and also this. So the next thing I'm going to do, I will cut this in. The next thing I'm going to do is to show you what I'll be doing with this. So let me cut this one so I can use this piece to show you. So I'm cutting the second sleeve. Okay. So next, I'm going to open the sleeve. I'm going to be forming an oval shape. So what I'm going to do is to fold the sleeve this way. This way. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. See, I fold this way. Okay. So next, from this part here, I'm going to go out by 1 inch. This is 1 inch. And from this top part, I'll come down by 2 inches this way. See what I'm doing? So I'll now cut. Watch the way I'm going to cut, like this, forming an oval shape. See? So by the time I open up, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to gather here, gather the down part as well. Now, see what I'll be using this for. So I'll go ahead and use my sleeve to cut this one as well. So watch me. This is my second sleeve. I'll cut. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is to open it up. Open up the nets this way. You seeing what I'm doing? Okay. So by the time you turn to the right side, this is what you'll be having. This is what you'll be seeing. You'll just be seeing the nets. So what I'm going to do is to use a bias tape to fold this in. These rough edges, I'm going to fold it in. So when I'm gathering, I'm going to gather the nets and the fabric together. Okay, then use the band to hold the down part, and I also gather the spark so it can fit in around my armhole, and that is just that. So I want to quickly show you the back. I've cut out the back pieces, and this is it. So this is a triangular back neckline, you see. So by the time I fix my zipper, it's going to look like this, you see. So here I'm going to fix button or even hook and eye. I don't know. When I'm done, I will know what I'll be doing there. So this is it, you see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to iron and interfacing to this fabric because it's a bit light. I'll also iron at the front, join the upper part to the down part, fix my zip, fix my sleeve, then I'll come back and show you the finished look. Okay, this is the finished look. You can see this, the square neckline. So if you think that this is too high, you can go ahead and reduce yours. The idea is to show you how to go about this, okay? And for the lower part of the gown, you can see the lower part of the gown, how beautiful it is. So around this knee, remember I removed 2 inches. But if you want your own to be that fitted, okay, you can still go ahead and remove 2.5 from your hip and use it as your round knee and the hemline. Okay, so that is that. So this is my puff sleeve. You can see the net inside. See, and this is the band. See, so I hem the rough edge using a bias tape, as you can see. See, so this is the back. I hope you can see the triangular neckline. See, so let me open it up so you can see how the inside is. So I finally fixed a hook and eye around the neck. So this is it. See, and this is the inside. You see, very neat. So I want to show you the slits, the opening at the back. So this is the vent. See. So if you like what you're seeing, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Share this video. Please, if you're yet to subscribe, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.